Kitties, what up, what up? Welcome to Primal Scream. This is your host, Nick Graystone. For the next hour, we're going to talk about fantasy, reality, and everything in between. Let's go.
This is Jay Muse, and you're watching Primal Scream with Nick Graystone. Nick Graystone.
All right, here we go. Hey, what up, kitties? The studio doesn't look like the studio. We are in Graystone Castle right now. Castle Graystone. Welcome to another episode of Primal Scream. I'm your host, Nick Graystone. Today, I have a very special guest with me. Very iconic character he played back in the day. To me, it put Torgl on the map. It's being celebrated now because of the new release of the remake. And I want to introduce my guest right now, the original OG Melvin Junko, Mark Torgl. How are you, sir?
Hey, everyone. Hi. The original Toxic Avenger Melvin. Happy to be here. This movie was 40 years ago, believe it or not, and it gets bigger every year. So I'm good. I'm glad to be here, and I'm just staying busy.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. I appreciate you reaching back out to me, accepting the invite and coming out to speak, because I feel this is the time to do it. Like you said, the movie gets more and more iconic as time passes, and especially now, anytime a remake happens, they try to outdo the original, but you always got to go back to the original to see where it came from. And I'm a kid that was brought up on this movie. It was actually the second Trauma movie that I saw. I was originally introduced to Surf Nazis Must Die. And then my brother was like, dude, this other one, you got to check this out. He's the one that introduced me to Surf Nazis Must Die. Then he was like, you got to see this. There's a crazy scene in it. A kid getting run over and his head crushed. So we ended up renting the Toxic Avenger, and the rest is history. So talking about this now, like you said, 40 years, like that went by to me in a blink of an eye. For you, how was the whole audition process for this?
Well, interestingly enough, I did not audition. I was in a movie that they made the year before Toxic Avenger called The First Turn On. I was actually on the crew as the script supervisor. I was going to New York University at the time, and we were shooting this movie, The First Turn On, and an actor for another very awkward, socially retarded character didn't show up. The actor just did not show up for his part. And so Lloyd Kaufman said, Mark, you do it. Because we were all ready to shoot, and we needed somebody to do it. So I stepped in, and I've had some acting experience before that in high school and a little bit in college. And so I was happy to do it. And the way the Trauma team works, the Trauma movie works, is it's all over the top acting. It's all outrageous, over the top, crazy, and that's what I'm good at. So this character I played, Dwayne, it was a movie about kids caught in a cave for a camping event, and they all talk about their first sexual experiences. And of course, they're all lying. But I was actually, my character, I was the boyfriend of the camp counselor, and we actually did have a real sexual experience. And anyway, Trauma just loved what I did with this character. I had mashed potatoes in my hair. I was filleting the corn on the cob. Like I said, just totally outrageous, over the top. And they liked what I did so much in this movie when they were making The Toxic Avenger. Lloyd called me and said, "Listen, we've got this new movie we're casting for, and the character of a mop boy that turns into a monster. And we auditioned like 100 kids for this part, and what we really want is what you did in the first Turn On last year. That type of character. So if you want the part, you can have it." So I didn't audition. And I said, "Yeah, I'll do it. Sounds cool." And I also worked on the crew as well as a script supervisor, which I probably didn't need to do that, but, I was still in film school. So that was how I got the part without auditioning.
Wow. So thank God the other guy didn't show and you were just there, and they threw you right into the ring, and
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's just, really crazy the way it happened. And I've been involved with trauma ever since. I've been in several movies, usually a cameo, Return to Nukem High, Toxic Avenger 4. I always, if I'm in New York and they're shooting something, Lloyd will have me come down and work, shoot something. And consequently, vice versa, if I'm shooting something, Lloyd will come and be in my movie too. I made a movie, Toxic Tutu, and Lloyd is in it. And he is actually a pretty major character, like the puppet master of this movie that I made. So we're good friends, and we're always helping each other out.
As it should be. Uncle Lloyd is a great guy. He noticed me from a convention about a year before. I was on set for his last movie he's directing right now, The Power of Positive Murder. And he saw me. He was like, "Hey, I remember you." He's like, "Do me a favor, come over here." And he made me stand right next to the lead in the scene. So I get amazing screen time. And it's just because he was just like my face, and he said, "You know what? I want to put you right here." And then that was it. The rest is history.
That's great.
Different parts and stuff. And I feel like Uncle Lloyd just goes with his familiars that he's comfortable with. And that's great. You establish a good relationship with him. And like you said, he brought you back for Citizen Toxie. And that was your return to acting, because there was like a little gap in between stuff, right? So you really didn't do anything in between that?
Yeah, I was working in Hollywood. I moved to Hollywood, and I was working as a television editor. And they actually called me up for Toxic Avenger 2, and I was already, working, and I said, "Well, send me the script." They sent me the script. I didn't think the script was very good. And I was like, "Well, can you pay me something, fly me out, put me up, because I'm in Hollywood now, and pay me, $100 or something," which, and Lloyd was like, "Oh, that's not the trauma way, Mark, come on. You know that." And so I declined, actually. And Lloyd said in his book, Everything I Know About Filmmaking I Learned from the Toxic Avenger, he said the biggest mistake he ever made was not giving Mark Torgl the $50 he asked for to be in Toxic Avenger 2. So when Citizen Toxie came around, I decided I wanted to do it just for the fun of it. And they did fly me out. They didn't pay me, but they flew me out. And so I had fun doing that.
So you got them halfway. I mean, at least they got you for the travel.
Yeah. And then
played evil Melvin in this,
right?
So that's cool. It's a little bit of a twist.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I think that it kind of fell off for 2 and 3. They just did a new cut for that now. They did Mr. Melvin, and I did get to catch that, and it does work better, but where it lies for me is the original and then 4. I do like Citizen Toxie. I think it's you know,
Yeah, I mean, 2 and 3, it was really supposed to be just one movie, and they shot so much footage they broke it up into 2 films. And Lloyd doesn't like either one, but I haven't seen Mr. Melvin. I would like to see it to see what they did with it.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, they had an event on Long Island about a month ago, and Mitch Cohen was there.
That's
and,
wild.
Rick Collins and Lloyd and Andrew Miller and oh my God, the name escapes me right now. I'm gonna remember it in a little bit. But Adam Peltier. Those two guys recut 2 and 3. So they
Okay.
showed the original Toxie, and then they showed Mr. Melvin. So that's how I got to see it was on the big screen, and I got to meet Mitch. And actually, I convinced Mitch to do a small horror convention with me because I'm like, dude, this is the time. I'm like, the Toxic Avenger, the remake just dropped. I'm like, the appeal is out there. No one's ever met you, and I definitely want to. So,
Yeah, he had
I think
disappeared.
I convinced him, and it's not really announced yet, but I think you guys are going to be doing a show together. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but all I know is Mitch disappeared for years, and nobody knew how to get in contact with him. So I'm glad. I guess Trauma finally did get in contact with him when he came
Lloyd
out.
did. It was all Lloyd.
Yeah. So
Convinced him to come out to do it. It was a local thing. He didn't have to travel. And he was blown away. Like he could not believe that the amount of people that came out and still gave a shit about the movie. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. These kids out there, like, it's a cult classic. I'm saying kid myself, Yeah, I'm a working actor, and I'm a producer and all that. But at the end of the day, I'm still a fan. So I mean, I still go to these conventions. I bring my daughter. I love passing the torch to her. I still haven't shown her the Toxic Avenger. She's only 10, but when she's 11 or 12.
yeah, it's about the right age. You'd be surprised how many people I meet at conventions. Oh, I saw that when I was 8 years old, and I hear it all the time. And a lot of them started with the Toxic Crusaders, and they're like, "Oh, this was based on a movie," and then they see the movie and they're like, "Boy, this is nothing like the Toxic Crusaders." But yeah, a lot of kids were introduced to Toxic Avenger when they were too young. But
That's me. I'm going to say that I probably saw it 1986, 87. I was born in 77. So I was about 9 years old. And I had a brother that was 7 years older. So he's the one that introduced me to all this shit. And the first thing he ever showed me was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then from there, just Silent Night, Deadly Night, Include Santa. And then he showed me, the Trauma stuff. And Trauma, really, I want to ask you a question about that. Did you think that this film would be such iconic, and how Trauma would be where it is today when you were making the original?
Absolutely not. Had no idea. It was kind of a strange shoot. We knew that it was either going to be some kind of really out there surreal type film, or it was just going to die. And it really did die at first. It was at a theater. I think it was at a theater uptown, and I don't know if it even lasted a week, and it disappeared. And then it started showing as a midnight movie at the Bleecker Street Cinema, and every Saturday, and it started getting word of mouth, bigger and bigger crowds every week. I had made a public appearance there one time, and the theater was packed. And I was doing some stand-up comedy. I was really awful, but the crowd loved me. And, that's when I kind of realized it was something special. When I saw that crowd and how they loved the movie. And 40 years later, it's still going strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every anniversary, either a new version comes out or a new DVD, a new slip case, something, and it's awesome that the House of Trauma was built on. I'm going to say it's definitely because of this movie. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it picked up its cult status on VHS. I feel you even said, like, with the midnight screenings and everything, you have to have a special type of movie
yeah,
for it in order to do something like that. And I feel like it's that type of movie, like the kills were very inventive. And basically you guys did it, before CGI and before
yeah,
bullshit.
yep,
You did practical effects.
yep. And they were great practical effects. When I was in the tub and my skin was all bubbling up on my hands and stuff, there were production assistants below the tub blowing into tubes into bladders that I had on my hands that were making it bubble up like that, and it was very inventive. The special effects people were very creative. Jennifer
What's the
Aspinall.
process putting all that shit on? Like, did it take like a while?
Well, we had a day in preparation where they did a mask, a whole thing where, so that when the time came, they could work with the mask that they made for me. And then probably a couple of hours to get prepared for the shoot. I have a funny story about it because it looked really good. And these makeup special effects, they were kids and they were just learning their craft, but they were good at it, and they were real good at putting on the makeup, but not so good at getting off the makeup. And when we were finished, we started trying to get the makeup off and it wasn't coming off. And that's when my skin was all kind of falling off, and we were working on it, and finally they said they contacted a YMCA down the street and said to them, can I go down there and get in their shower to try and get this makeup off? And they were like, yeah, sure. So I went to the YMCA and I'm in the shower naked with my skin falling off, like clawing at this makeup on my face. And while I'm doing that, the boys' swim team came into the shower and they saw this naked, like, man with his skin falling off, and they quickly left.
They probably thought it was like some weird leper or something. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, they were definitely traumatized. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Man. That's did it leave like because you had such a hard time? Did it leave like permanent scarring or anything? Or?
I had a scar on my hand. You know the fire scene where I started on fire. A piece of fire actually fell onto my hand, and I had a scar on that hand for years. I don't think I have it anymore, but yeah, that got me. And it was like, if you'd see my reaction, most of that was from getting burned. So that was like the only serious thing. I know it wasn't that serious, but that was an effect of what was going on. So that's that was my little area of being injured by trauma.
It always happens, man. I was on a set for a movie called Sweetmeats, and it was a blood gag. They cut off, my band is in it, they cut off my guitarist's arms, and they had a little tube coming out that was hooked up to an air compressor that was shooting out at 150 pounds of pressure. And I looked down the barrel of this thing, and I almost lost my eye.
Oh, God.
And that was my first rodeo with trauma.
Oh, man.
And, yeah, I had to go to the eye doctor because I was seeing, like, spotty and shit. And he said, any more pressure, you probably would have lost it. And I got a stuntman credit for it and stuff, but I don't think I learned that lesson. I'll probably do it again.
Well, you never know what you're getting into when you're doing a trauma film, because they take their chances. They try to do as much prep as they can, but they don't do enough, and things happen. There was a scene where the car flips over, and the roll bar on the car, and I was a script supervisor, so the roll bar collapsed, and we were all behind the camera, and we were like, "Oh my God, this guy's dead!" And we all ran up to the car, and the roll bar only collapsed on the passenger side, not the driver's side, so he was okay. But Lloyd said if he killed that guy, that would have been it. Trauma would have been over. But luckily,
I mean, yeah, I mean, it happened. You know, look at what happened with the Twilight Zone movie. I mean,
yeah,
he had that. You know, that was horrible. That was also a big studio that
right.
This is, you know, an independent. You're probably right. It probably would have been a massive lawsuit and that. Yeah.
Well, that's what Lloyd said. He said if that guy died, that would have been the end of Trauma. So
Just before it even started.
yeah.
But I wanted to talk to you about One Man Funk. I'm actually in that movie as well. I do a voiceover. I still haven't done my part, but
Our
I
Man
wanted
Funk.
to discuss your role in that. I know that right now is in like production and stuff, but how was that experience?
Oh, that was fun. It was a one-day shoot for me, and I played the clerk in a porn store. And the female character, the girl, comes in to make some kind of connection with somebody, and I'm all kind of just going after her, being pervy, and that was the whole scene really, and then finally Bill Whedon comes in and takes her out of there. So that was my whole part, and it should be good. I think everybody, at least that day, was good. Bill Whedon he's really good too. He's
I met him. I met him on the set of Power Positive Murder.
okay.
And, there's so many people that are associated with that film and that are in this.
Oh yeah.
And they actually asked me to do a voiceover, and I'm a glory hole. It's a scene for a glory hole, but I just hadn't figured out if I'm the customer or if I'm the worker. So I'm not certain, the side of the hole that I'm on. But it's a voiceover, thank God. So I don't. There's no gratuitous nudity or anything.
Yeah.
Because that's the last thing these motherfuckers want to see with me.
Oh, and they will encourage it. They will encourage it.
God, yeah, well, that's trauma, like that's what they want. That's what they were, boobs and blood.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely. And I actually wanted to tell you this story. This is crazy. So that movie that I was telling you about, the Sweetmeats. So there's a scene where I get my guts ripped out. Now, being such a diehard Trauma fan from back in the day, I told the director when they're doing this, I want to emulate myself like Joe Fleischman. So I think that's his name. So he was the mayor in the original Toxic Avenger that gets gutted at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So they did a screening of this at New Jersey HorrorCon last 2 months ago, and I'm back at my table hanging out, and this guy comes up to me, and he goes, "Oh, I love the movie, I'd love to purchase it from you, whatever." We got into a conversation, and he was like, "I really enjoyed your scene." He's like, "I used to have a buddy that worked for Trauma, in Trauma movies. He was the best man at my wedding. His name was Joe Fleischman." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here." I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." And I ended up telling him that's who I wanted to emulate when I got my guts ripped out. So his son was with him, and he was like, "Did you hear that? He was emulating Uncle Joe or whatever." Joe had since passed away or whatever, but I ended up giving them like a free picture, and I was like, "Thanks to your Uncle Joe for showing me that I had the guts."
Yeah.
But yeah, seriously, that guy, he Did you have any experiences with him on set or anything?
Well, not acting with him, but since I was a script supervisor, I was there. He was so good. He was such a professional. And because of his weight, though, he was a wet rag constantly. He was just perspiring profusely. But he still hung in there and did it all. And it was, like I said, he was really a professional. And it was just a pleasure to see that. Because he,
Absolutely. And I saw him in a couple other films too as well after that, and he just always played that great role, man. He played a great villain type guy.
yeah,
But that's, to me, I always look at trauma too as like a stepping stone for so many people that like started there and they worked their way up and like did other things and everything. And it's amazing that an indie studio went as far as it's doing, and it still does. It still has, still pumping out 20 movies a year.
yeah. A lot of people got started with them. James Gunn got started with them, and now he's one of the biggest Hollywood directors around.
He even let Uncle Lloyd come and play, in one of his.
Always. He's always got a cameo in James Gunn's. Yeah. And I've got a cameo in Slither. On the TV. On the TV, they have a scene from the Toxic Avenger on the TV, and it's yeah. So even I got in there. I'd like to get in there more on one of his films. So at least he knows who I am,
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, like I said before, being that the new one's out and it gets still in people's minds, man. You're part of an iconic film. So, what do you have coming up? Like, what you want to plug any upcoming projects that you're doing right now, or?
Well, I just worked on Poultrygeist 2. And it was like a day in the San Francisco area. The zombie chickens ate my brain, and that was fun. A woman named Mercedes actually directed it, and Troma produced it. And I've been in a couple of her films. So that was just shot, and I think they just wrapped a week or two ago, and Lloyd was there for the last scene. So that's coming out at one point. Well, they're editing first. I'm also in a movie called Infernal, and that is finished, and it's getting all kinds of awards. It's making it's doing the circuit, theatrical circuit, and hoping for a bigger distribution out of it. But it's really good. It's about a rock and roll devil takeover type thing. Eric Mathis directed it, and he's really coming up on the horror world. And he always puts me in his movies because he's a Facebook friend. And when he did another film, his first film was called The Macabre, which I'm also in. And he contacted me via Facebook and said, "Hey, listen, I'm a big fan of yours. And, I have this script, this horror script, The Macabre. Would you like to read it?" And I said, "Sure, send it to me." And so I read the script, and I thought it was really good. It was like a movie with 4 different stories, which I thought was really clever. And I had a major role in one of those stories. Because after I read it, I said it was really good. He was like, "Oh, do you want to be in it?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." And that turned out really well. That's streaming. It seems like all these Troma fans that are now making their own movies. In fact, Lloyd also has a book called Make Your Own Damn Movie. And so whenever they're making their own damn movie and they're fans of mine, they usually seek me out and I end up doing a cameo, which is very cool. There's another one called Special Needs Revolt.
Adrian, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, I met him. He's a very, very nice.
yeah, it's it's a also very unique film that special needs actors are in it, and that's except for me. I think everyone else was special needs. So that's out. I think it's on the Troma streaming service, Troma now. Yeah,
which is totally worth it. Shameless plug. It's free for the first month and then $4.99 per additional. And you know what? That's unheard of now, and everything's on.
Yeah. So I'm doing a lot. I did another one called Desert Fiends 2. We shot it out in the desert in Nevada. That should be coming out soon. It was this great location. It was like a ghost town. I'm staying busy, man. That's really, yeah.
That's great. How was the weather out there in the desert? Was it hot as hell?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the middle of summer.
Oh, shit.
So.
When you're saying like in the middle of nowhere, that reminds me of this town, Lancaster, California. You ever hear of it?
I don't think so.
So they film like, if you would pull it up, there's like Terminator 2 is filmed out there, the end of 7. Rob Zombie did like the whole Tiki Palms from Kiki Palms from Devil's Rejects. Basically, it's no addresses. It's only latitude, like coordinates. But it looks like a town that's like fake. It's like a big fucking movie set. So you're driving around and you're like, what the fuck is going on? It's almost like Children of the Cornish.
Yeah.
Very scary. And I was like, wanted to see these like places where they filmed it, but I'm like, I got to get out of here before the sun comes down. And like, I don't know where the fuck I am, like pretty scary. There was no like lights. Like I didn't notice any street lights, any traffic lights. And I'm like, something's not right around here.
Those are the best sets, the natural sets like that. And that's what
they had like the church scene from Kill Bill. So like they had like the church still set up, and like you're not allowed to really walk on it. It has like signs that you can rent it. So they rent it for the day or for however you long you have it, but it's like chained off or whatever. But when you see it, you're like, holy shit, this is it. Like very, very cool and it's authentic. You can build sets like stuff like that.
Right. No, that's what like Infernal is like. It's in this ghost town. It used to be a gold mining town, and they actually do tours there. But for our purposes, making the film, it was like such a good backdrop, and that is not out yet, but that should be coming out soon. Sean Phillips is the director, and he also did Desert Fiends 1, and he's an actor as well, and he's done a lot of stuff. He's actually in my movie Toxic Tutu, so he has done more acting, I think, than the directing. But yeah,
you directed Toxic Tutu.
I was co-director, co-producer. Yeah,
very cool. You know what? I'm going to look it up now. I want to check it out.
Oh yeah, it's streaming. It's the almost true story of whatever became of Melvin the Mop Boy, Mark Torgl from the Toxic Avenger. So it's a pseudo documentary.
Very cool.
It's on Prime. It's on Apple. You can just look it up. It's streaming all over the place.
I'm gonna honestly, once we're done with this tonight, I'm going to watch it.
Cool. Yeah, I was real happy with it. I watched it recently, and I hadn't watched it in the last time because my partner that I made it with passed away shortly after we were finished with it, and that was like 7 years ago. So it was just hard for me to watch it. But I watched it recently, and I thought it was really good. It really held up, and it's a good movie. So real
That's
happy
good
about
that
that.
you got it made and stuff, and
Yeah,
it's a good. I guess it's a good remembrance that you did it with a friend and everything. So
yeah. Oh, that's okay. I'm just glad, like you said, that it got made and it got distributed. So, you know,
absolutely cool. You have any upcoming appearances that you're doing?
I'm going to be in Las Vegas next weekend. There's going to be a double screening of the original Toxic Avenger and the new one. I'm going to be doing a Q&A, and signing autographs and stuff. And I've got a couple other ones um, coming up in the new year, a couple of conventions. We've been doing reunions with the five of us. Bozo, Slug, Wanda, and Julie and myself. We've done 2 conventions, and they're always really popular because it's a reunion. So we just did one in Cleveland, and yeah, exactly.
I wanted to go to it, I couldn't, but you know what? I ended up sending my poster to somebody. They got it tagged up for me, so I actually got one. But I'm looking forward to meeting you at one of these conventions one day. I've always wanted to meet you, but I never did. So,
Well, because of the 40-year anniversary, now 41, we're doing a lot, and I'm doing a lot. Sometimes I'm the only one doing it because the conventions can't afford everybody to bring everybody out, but they usually bring me out, and so I'm very happy about that. I just,
like I said, can't really announce anything yet, but I think there's one in the works right now. That's all I'm going to say. But,
yeah.
do some plugs, and I want to thank you for your time tonight. Thank you again so much, Mark, for coming on to the show.
Oh, sure. I'm glad I could do it.
I just have to plug my sponsors, and then that'll be it. Tomorrow, God's Lonely Man, released by Demon Scar, is going to be on all streaming platforms. On Saturday, I'll be doing a solo gig with Counterfeit Phil, Steve and the Not Steves, Sharp Violet, Space Turtles, The Disappointments, and Whiskey Rocks in West Babylon. On the 14th, Demon Scar, Witches Dance, and Mouth for Rage will be playing at Mr. Theories. Mr. Beeries is the Long Island CBGBs and a proud sponsor of the Primal Scream podcast. I told Steve, because he's going to be shutting the doors down in 16 months, that I want to be the Billy Joel of Beeries and do a event there for the next 16 months. And I have a bit of a residency, and I'm keeping up on my end of the bargain because on December 5th, I'm getting the old band back, and we used to be called Death Proof. Then we were Planet Terror. We were also Norman and Master Bates, and this time we are Aunt Jackie's Bush.
Okay.
We're going to be playing with Suffolk Stranglers, Horaeus, and Hostile Intent. And I want to also say that Mr. Beeries always has something going on. Monday nights is Mundioki, hosted by Kevin Mundy. Vinyl Tuesday, pick a side of your favorite vinyl, have them play it. Wednesday is video game night.
Wow.
They have all different types of videos there, video games you can play, Nintendo 64, Atari, Sega Genesis, the old school Nintendo. So that's on Wednesdays. Thursday is open mic night, sponsored by Murphy's Music. This Friday, Flak Jacket, Deadly Skies, and Agent Zero will be playing. And Saturday, Nonstop Takaro, Be Decent, and the Scrub Ups. My other sponsor, Cinema Arts Center, has an amazing November at the Cult Cafe series, and it's going to be featuring the films of iconic director John Hughes. The retrospect will feature Uncle Buck, The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Weird Science, and What's Thanksgiving Without One of the greatest movies to watch on Thanksgiving, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So catch these 80s classics on the big screen every Saturday night at 9:30. come early and you get a special free mix CD and stickers.
Excellent.
I also want to plug New Jersey HorrorCon on the 6th. I'm going to be a guest there, and we will be having also there Felissa Rose, the original Michael Myers for about 3 seconds, Tony Moran, Ellen Latson, Scott Goldberg, Naomi Grossman from American Horror Story, and the Scream Girl, Bathroom Girls, Lorena Scalfo and Nancy Ann Ritter. And that is about it for the plugs. Again, I want to thank our guest tonight, Mark Torgl. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate you coming and spending your evening with me.
Oh, thank you, Nicholas.
Hope to see you down the line.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have
a good night, and thanks, kitties, for watching. This is another episode of Primal Scream. I'm Nick Graystone, and you're not. See you later.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to Primal Scream. I'm Nick Graystone, a.k.a. The Nizza. Each week, Primal Scream is produced by Tony Walker and executive produced by Demon Scar. Always remember, nobody writes your story but you. Later.